What's up, traders? This is Vee Trades, and today I'll be doing a technical analysis breakdown for Microsoft with the ticker symbol MSFT. This was a viewer's request, and thank you for your donation. If you want a chart analysis guaranteed to be done, please read the description below. Also, take a second to give the video a like and subscribe for more chart analysis. I appreciate it very much. This video is for entertainment purposes only, does not constitute any financial advice. I will first go over what I see on the daily chart and finish the video off with the weekly chart. So a lot of stocks had a huge gap down in the early morning session, and then eventually as the days progressed, the gains were taken back from the shorts and we closed pretty bullish for a lot of stocks. So there's a lot of buying at this level. So let's take a look at Microsoft a little bit in the past. You can see that there was this channel working higher, a nice little yellow channel working higher. This was the third touch right over here. We went up to the upper side of the channel, we went back to the lower side, and then prices were trying to work to the upper side, but we came up short, which showed signs of weakness in the uptrend. We eventually broke the uptrend and made two legs down. You can see that was a perfect two legs. It was the first leg down. We had a little correction in between. This was the second leg down, and right when we got that measured move, we found some support and bounced, and then from there we were just consolidating inside of a range pattern. Prices were trying to break out and retest the previous high or even make a new one. Like I always tell you guys, when we get a break outside of a range, normally we go back up to retest the previous high. Price action failed. It made the second attempt right here, and then this was the third attempt. So this was a triple top of this price level, and eventually buyers gave up and we sold off pretty harshly. We came back to find resistance at the bottom of the range, and then we continued even lower and in another form of a leg. So let's go ahead and make this one green, and you can see that we also made two legs down right here. This was the first leg down. We pulled back, found resistance, we continue lower, and then right at the end of this measure move, just a little bit more, price action did continue lower, but we eventually closed above the target. So from here you can see that we were in a downtrend, and then we had a breakout side of the downtrend and we made a new low just recently. So let's show you that downtrend right here. So we pretty much went up, sideways, and then down. Let's go and make this yellow. We had a breakout side of this yellow downtrend, and then we finally just made a retest of the previous low. So that just happened today. So now what does it look like it can happen? What does it look like can happen? Well, it's a little too early to call. This is the point where we could have a bottom, or we could just be pulling back and finding resistance. We are still below the EMA, and we could be forming some type of spiking channel probably. If I show you guys that right now, this could be a potential channel for Microsoft that we could be inside of. With all things going on across the world right now, it's very hard to predict what's going to happen, but technically it's just a little too early to call also too. We did have a huge push up, but we also did have a huge push up right over here. That's a big candle itself, this green one, but eventually prices found resistance and we still continue lower. So this time is a little different because we did have a breakout side of the yellow downtrend channel, and we did have a triple test of this level. You can see that was the first test, this was the second test right here, and now we just had the third test just today. So this could be very bullish. I mean, we did have a little failed breakout, so it probably chopped in a lot of shorts trying to play this breakout, and we could see a big reversal. So again, there's reasons to be a bull, there's reasons to be a bear. Just right now we could pull back and find resistance at the top of this channel, because we were it does look like we bounced some support, and we could work our way back to resistance. Like I said before, we are still below the EMA. A lot of uncertainty and intention going on in the markets and around the world, so it's a little too early to call a bottom. Very difficult to predict those, but eventually we will get a bottom and we will reverse. But as of right now, it's just too early to call. Obviously, if we do start pushing higher and higher, we get above the EMA, find some type of support, and then continue to trend higher, then we're probably off to the races, gonna make a new all-time high. However, if we find resistance anywhere, even back up to the $300 level, $310 level, there's another possibility to get another leg down. So if we do get another leg down, where can we go? This would be the first leg down right here, and if I put this at the top, Let's do that again. Let's clear all the drawings so you can see this more clearly. That was the first leg down. We had a pullback right up to the 315 level, and then from the 315 level we sold off. And the second leg is pointing right at the 245 level. You can see that on my y-axis it says 245, and it makes sense because there's also a little gap right here. And whenever a measured move points at the start of a big move, it just makes a lot of sense for price action to come back here to take back all the profit and hit the break-even stops. The market does not like pretty much other people making money, so it makes sense that the measured move is right at the beginning of this entire up move that we had. However, let's look at the bullish side. The bullish side is that we had a triple bottom. We're finding a lot of buyers at this level. It's a huge push up for today, and we did have a breakout side of the downtrend channel and a move to a new low, so that shows signs of weakness in the downtrend. But other than that, I don't really see that many other bullish signs. I think that's pretty much it. For the bears, we are below the EMA. Just because we had a breakout side of a channel, that doesn't mean we're going to see a reversal right away. We could also be in a spike in channel. The measure move target hasn't been reached, and just with all the tension going on in the world, it's just hard to say. It's just hard to be bullish right now. I'm just a little more leaning towards the bears, and they still have a chance to continue to push down the market, but it'll change if we see just a continued frenzy of buying, and then maybe even a pullback to find some type of support. If we start just building support, we're probably just going to be making an uptrend to new all-time highs. As of right now, that hasn't happened. We are in a very indecision area where we could go up or down. This could just be a bull trap, and we could just reverse flat on its face in the coming days. We'll have to wait and see, but I think we're going to probably see a little more pullback before we see more downside. That's if we see more downside. So if you were to ask me if I were to pick which way we're going to go, I'm still leaning towards getting this measured move. As long as we don't start going really high up, there's still a possibility to get that measured move down. So that's pretty much everything on the daily chart. Let's go and wrap this up on the weekly chart. So is Russia invading Ukraine going to be the start of World War III, and are we going to see a Great Depression in the markets or in the economy? Well, I don't think so. I listened to one of my mentors, and he's pretty rational and logical, and he said we're not. And I don't think we're either, because my reason was the United States was in Afghanistan for 20 years, and there was still a bunch of bull markets in the U.S. stock market. So even though the U.S. was in multiple wars, even in the Middle East, these smaller wars aren't really big enough to crash the market unless it gets really big. But as of right now, I don't think it's going to happen. It's too early to call, but you never know. So let's take a look at the weekly chart. You can see that since 2020 we've been in this uptrend. I believe this is the channel that's fitting against the price action the best. You can see that we have not been below the EMA since 2020, so that's pretty much 2 years. March of 2020 we got below the EMA. Before that we were also most of the time above it. So since 2020 of March, and now February of 2022, that's pretty much almost 2 years that we haven't been below the EMA. The EMA was always acting as support, pointing up and holding price bars. The channel was working higher. So recently we had a breakout side of the channel, so there's still a possibility to get a retest of the previous high. But you just got to know when the correction is over. Is this correction over yet or not? Are we going to just reverse and go back up to the previous all-time highs? Well, maybe. It looks like on this weekly chart, this little downtrend channel could be in play. So we could have one more push up and one more dump to maybe to that measure move target that I had on the daily chart, and then we'll probably see more bullish price action. So we could just reverse from here and continue higher. I will have to see first that the price gets above the EMA. You can see that the EMA is right there. Let me go and clear the drawings one more time. You can see that we are below the EMA, so it's very different than what we had previously. So it looks like there's more sellers in the market. So usually nothing's random in the market. If you just look at the clues, a picture is worth 1,000 words. That this is telling you much different story than the previous selling. You can see that the corrections over here are much smaller, and this is a big correction. So is this the bottom of the market? Is this the end of the correction and we're just gonna resume the trend? Well, it's a possibility. but I'm a little more bearish. I think we might just see a little more downside before continuing higher. Either way, I'm still bullish. I think we're going to continue higher. Either way, even if we do sell off to the 245 level, just because this is a very strong trend and it normally just does not end like this until we see like a huge blow off top or a breakout side of a channel and a new high in place. You know, we don't really just see the market reverse when it looks like there's still possibilities to continue higher, unless you see reversal signs, but we haven't seen any reversal signs yet. So I'm still bullish, but I'm just leaning more towards the bearish side because I don't think this correction is over. Either way, I'm still bullish, and we're probably going to see a new all-time high maybe this year. So that's pretty much everything I have for Microsoft. Thank you for stopping by and checking out my video. Make sure to check out the rest of the channel since you might be surprised on what you can learn. Leave a comment down below on where you think prices are headed. Also share the video if you want your friends to learn about the markets. Lastly, I appreciate any feedback to help improve the channel since I want to deliver great content to you guys. See you next time, and bye.